The transmission crackled through the palace communications array at exactly 1400 hours, cutting through the afternoon silence like broken glass. Captain Marcus Kane stood at attention beside Queen Elena's private study, his hand instinctively moving toward his weapon as the alien frequency pierced through Earth's most secure channels. The young voice spoke in perfect English, trembling with desperation. "Please, anyone listening, my name is Zara. I am 11 cycles old. My ship crashed 3 days ago near your northern continent. The rescue beacon is broken. My guardian is hurt. We need help." Queen Elena's pen stopped moving across the diplomatic papers. She looked up from her desk, her green eyes meeting Kane's steady gaze through the doorway. Protocol demanded immediate security intervention. Alien contact required full council approval and military screening. No exceptions. "Your Majesty," Kane said quietly, "I must advise against any response until we've verified the transmission's origin and intent." The transmission continued, the child's voice growing weaker. "I know you probably think I'm dangerous. Everyone does. But we're not the ones who hurt your colonies. We're refugees too. My guardian saved me when the Dominion destroyed our homeworld. We've been running for 3 years." Elena's fingers tightened around her pen. 6 months ago, the Haraxi Dominion had obliterated 2 human settlements on the Outer Rim, leaving nothing but ash and silence. The galactic community had offered sympathy, but no justice. Trust had become a luxury humanity could not afford. "She's just a child," Elena whispered. Kane stepped forward, his voice carrying the weight of 20 years protecting the crown. "Your Majesty, children have been used as weapons before. The Proxima incident taught us that innocence can be manufactured." The transmission sparked again, weaker now. "I know you have every reason to hate us, but my guardian taught me that hatred only grows more hatred. She said humans were different. She said you help those who cannot help themselves. Connie." Elena stood slowly, moving toward the communications console. Kane's training screamed warnings, but he remained silent. The Queen's security was his responsibility, but her conscience belonged to her alone. "If this is genuine," Elena said, "we're listening to a child die while we debate procedure. If this is deception," Kane replied, "we're watching you walk into a trap that could destabilize the entire system." The transmission faded to static, then returned one final time. "I understand if you cannot help. My guardian says sometimes being safe is more important than being kind, but she also taught me to hope. So I'm hoping someone out there remembers what it feels like to be small and afraid and far from home." Silence filled the study. Elena's hand hovered over the response controls while Kane calculated threat assessments and extraction protocols. Outside the palace walls, humanity continued its daily routine, unaware that their queen faced a choice that would echo across the stars. Elena's finger moved toward the transmission button. Kane stepped closer, not to stop her, but to ensure that whatever happened next, he would be ready. The weight of duty pressed against the pull of compassion, and in that moment, the future balanced on the edge of a single decision. The static cleared. Elena pressed the button. "This is Queen Elena of Earth." "We hear you, Zara. Stay strong. Help is coming." Kane immediately activated the emergency protocols, his movements precise and efficient despite the chaos now unleashing across palace communications. Within seconds, every security chief, military coordinator, and diplomatic advisor would converge on the situation. Elena had just committed humanity to its first unauthorized alien contact since the Dominion attacks. "Your Majesty," Kane said, his voice steady despite the magnitude of what had just occurred, "Admiral Foster will demand your immediate protection detail be tripled." Elena kept her hand on the transmission controls, monitoring for any response from the child. "Then you'd better prepare for a very crowded palace, Captain." The implications crashed through Kane's mind like dominoes. Unauthorized alien contact violated 17 different treaties. The Galactic Council would demand explanations. Parliament would call for investigations. The military would question every decision Elena made going forward. But somewhere in the northern wilderness, a child had stopped dying alone. Elena's voice carried absolute authority as she turned to face her guard. "Captain Kane, I need you to assemble a discretionary rescue team. 6 hours maximum response time. Kane felt the familiar tension between duty and impossibility. Your Majesty, Palace security protocols prohibit my leaving your side during active alien contact situations. Then we have a problem, don't we, Captain? The transmission crackled back to life, the child's voice stronger now, filled with something Kane recognized despite every tactical warning in his head. Hope. Thank you, Zara whispered across the void between worlds. Thank you for answering. Elena closed her eyes for exactly 3 seconds, a habit Kane had observed during her most difficult decisions. When she opened them, the woman who had guided humanity through war, famine, and political upheaval had made another choice that would define her legacy. Captain, how quickly can we mobilize a humanitarian team while maintaining plausible deniability? Kane's training battled his instincts. Everything about this situation violated protocol, endangered the crown, and risked humanity's fragile position in galactic politics. But Elena's decision was made, and his oath was to protect and serve. 2 hours, Your Majesty, but I cannot recommend this course of action. Elena smiled, the expression carrying both steel and warmth. Captain, in 20 years of faithful service, have your recommendations ever stopped me from doing what I believed was right? Kane almost smiled in return. No, Your Majesty, they have not. The rescue mission launched under cover of a routine atmospheric survey. Commander Lisa Burke led the team north while Kane remained at Elena's side, monitoring communications and calculating the political fallout. Every passing hour brought them closer to either humanity's greatest diplomatic breakthrough or its most dangerous mistake. Burke's voice crackled through the secure channel 6 hours later. Palace Command, we have visual contact with the crash site. Single small craft, definitely alien origin, but the design doesn't match any known Dominion vessels. Minimal damage to surrounding area. No signs of weapons or hostile technology. Elena leaned forward in her chair. Kane watched her profile, recognizing the intensity that had made her one of history's most effective leaders. Life signs, Commander. 2 contacts, Your Majesty. 1 adult, unconscious but stable. 1 child, awake and alert. The child she's waving at us. Kane felt something shift in the room's atmosphere. Elena's shoulders relaxed slightly, but her focus never wavered. Commander Burke, initiate contact protocols, but maintain safe distance until we have full medical and biological clearance. Understood, Your Majesty. The next transmission came not from Burke, but from a different voice entirely. Young, clear, and speaking directly to the palace. Queen Elena, my guardian is waking up. She says to tell you that we carry the family markings of the Keythron peace delegation. She says you'll understand what that means. Elena's face went completely still. Kane had seen that expression twice before, both times when classified intelligence reached her desk. The Kethron peace delegation had attempted to broker treaties between humanity and the outer worlds 3 years ago. Their ship had vanished without trace. Your Majesty? Kane asked quietly. Captain, the Kethron delegation carried critical intelligence about Dominion military movements. If these refugees are survivors, the implications crystallized instantly. The child's ship didn't represent a threat. It represented hope for justice that humanity had thought lost forever. Burke's voice returned, this time carrying unmistakable excitement. Palace Command. The Guardian is conscious and requesting permission to transmit authenticated diplomatic credentials. She's claiming status as a protected Kethron peace envoy. Elena stood slowly, her decision made. Grant permission, Commander, and prepare for immediate extraction to the Palace medical facility. Kane activated the highest level security protocols, knowing that within hours, the Palace would host humanity's first alien diplomatic contact since the wars began. Everything changed in that moment. Not through conquest or politics, but because a lonely child had asked for help and a queen had chosen to answer. The transmission came through crystal clear 20 minutes later, an adult alien voice, formal and grateful. Your Majesty, I am Ambassador Kira of the Kethron Coalition. My ward and I carry intelligence that could change the balance of power in this sector. But more importantly, we carry gratitude for your mercy toward a frightened child. Elena looked at Kane, her expression mixing vindication with concern. Captain, it seems our compassion may have accomplished what our military efforts could not. Kane nodded, already calculating the security requirements for hosting alien diplomats. Yes, Your Majesty. Sometimes the greatest victories begin with the smallest acts of kindness. Indeed, Captain. Indeed they do. 2 hours later, the palace medical bay buzzed with activity as humanity's top xenobiologists worked alongside alien technology specialists. Zara sat on an examination table, her large violet eyes taking in everything with curious intelligence. While medical scanners confirmed what everyone had hoped, she posed no biological threat to human life. Ambassador Kira moved slowly but with obvious determination, her recovery progressing faster than expected. The Kethran physiology responded well to human medical techniques, another small bridge between species. Elena entered the medical bay flanked by Kane and her senior diplomatic staff. Zara's face lit up immediately. You're really the queen? You look exactly like your pictures, except prettier. Elena smiled genuinely for the first time in weeks. And you're really the brave young lady who reached across space to ask for help. I wasn't brave, Zara said seriously. I was scared, but my guardian says being brave happens when you're scared and do the right thing anyway. Ambassador Kira struggled to sit up straighter as Elena approached. Your Majesty, my ward speaks truth. Courage is not the absence of fear, but action in spite of it. She paused, gathering strength. I carry information about Dominion fleet movements and weapon capabilities that could protect not just human colonies, but all free worlds in this sector. Kane stepped forward, his security instincts finally aligned with opportunity rather than threat. Your Majesty, if this intelligence is accurate, we may be looking at our first real chance to stop the Dominion expansion. Elena sat carefully in the chair beside Zara's examination table. Ambassador, before we discuss military matters, I want you to know that your ward's courage saved both your lives today. Her message reminded us that mercy and strength can coexist. Zara blushed, her violet skin deepening to purple. All I did was ask for help. Sometimes, Elena said gently, asking for help is the hardest thing we can do. Ambassador Kira's eyes filled with something that transcended species, gratitude mixed with profound respect. Your Majesty, the Kethron Coalition believed humanity had become too hardened by war to trust outsiders again. Zara insisted we should try to contact you anyway. She looked at her ward with obvious affection. She said anyone who fought so hard to protect their people would understand what it meant to protect innocence. Kane watched the interaction with growing amazement. Military intelligence that could shift the balance of galactic power was secondary to the simple human act of responding to a child's plea for help. Strategy and compassion had merged into something more powerful than either could achieve alone. Dr. Sarah Wilson approached with her preliminary medical report. Your Majesty, both patients are stable and represent no threat to palace security or human health. The child's biological markers indicate she's been under significant stress for an extended period, but she's remarkably resilient. Elena nodded, then turned back to Zara. You mentioned running for 3 years. That's a long time to be away from home. Zara's expression grew serious beyond her years. Home is gone now. The Dominion doesn't leave anything behind, but my guardian says home isn't just a place. It's wherever people care about each other. She looked around the medical bay, taking in the concerned faces of human medical staff and security personnel. Everyone here has been so kind. Maybe home can be anywhere people choose to be good to each other. Elena felt her throat tighten. In her 2 decades as queen, she had seen humanity at its best and worst. But a refugee child's simple wisdom cut through political complexity to touch something fundamental about what leadership meant. Zara, would you and Ambassador Kira like to stay at the palace while you recover, as our honored guests? Ambassador Kira's eyes widened. Your Majesty, such an invitation carries enormous diplomatic significance. Yes, Elena said simply. It does. Kane stepped closer, understanding the magnitude of what his queen was proposing. Formal alien guests would require Senate approval, media management and security protocols that would strain every palace resource, but it would also signal to the galaxy that humanity had not allowed war to destroy its capacity for mercy. Your Majesty, Kane said quietly, Admiral Foster will want a full briefing on palace security modifications. Elena smiled. Then I suppose you'll have a very busy week ahead, Captain. Zara slipped off the examination table and approached Elena carefully. Queen Elena, if we stay, can I learn about human culture? My guardian taught me languages, but I want to understand why you answered when I called. Elena knelt to meet Zara's eyes, her royal dignity maintained even in the gentle gesture. I answered, because sometimes the most important decisions have nothing to do with politics or strategy. Sometimes they're simply about recognizing when someone needs help, even when helping might be dangerous. Especially then, young one. That's when helping matters most. Ambassador Kira managed to stand, moving slowly but steadily toward her ward and her new host. Your Majesty, the intelligence I carry could provide strategic advantages that ensure human security for generations to come. She paused, looking between Elena and Zara. But watching you respond to a child's plea reminds me that security without compassion is merely survival. What you've shown today proves that humanity has not lost its soul to war. Kane observed the moment with professional awareness and personal admiration. His queen had risked everything on an act of mercy and discovered it was actually an act of strategic brilliance. Sometimes the greatest strength came not from building walls, but from knowing when to open doors. Elena stood, her decision crystallized completely. Ambassador Kira, Sara, welcome to Earth. Welcome to humanity's promise that no child calls for help and goes unanswered. Outside the palace walls, the first alien refugees in human history began their recovery under the protection of a queen who had chosen compassion over caution. The universe felt a little smaller and infinitely more hopeful. 3 days later, the palace buzzed with unprecedented activity as alien-human diplomatic protocols took shape around the breakfast table, where Queen Elena shared morning tea with her extraordinary guests. Zara had adapted to palace life with remarkable ease, her natural curiosity balanced by emotional wisdom that impressed everyone she met. Ambassador Kira's recovery had accelerated beyond medical projections, and her intelligence briefings with human military leaders confirmed everyone's best hopes. The Dominion fleet movements she had monitored contained critical patterns that revealed weaknesses in their expansion strategy. Kane supervised security arrangements that had never been anticipated in any protocol manual. Protecting human royalty was complex enough, but ensuring the safety of alien refugees who might represent humanity's best chance for galactic peace required entirely new approaches. Elena entered the breakfast room to find Zara carefully arranging silverware according to patterns she had observed from human dining customs. The child's concentration was absolute, her desire to fit into her new environment both touching and unnecessary. Good morning, Zara. How did you sleep? Zara's face brightened immediately. Very well, thank you. The bed is incredibly soft and the windows show such beautiful views of your city. She hesitated, then continued more quietly. I keep expecting to wake up in the ship running from something dangerous, but then I remember we're safe now. Elena sat across from her young guest, noting how Zara's violet eyes seemed clearer each day. Safety is a gift we don't always recognize until we've lost it for a while. Ambassador Kira entered slowly, still moving carefully but with obvious improvement. Your Majesty, your medical staff continues to amaze me with their expertise and kindness. She seated herself beside Zara, the protective instinct between guardian and ward evident in every gesture. I have completed my intelligence review with your military advisors. Admiral Foster wishes to schedule additional briefings this afternoon. Kane approached with the morning security report, his expression conveying controlled optimism. Your Majesty, overnight monitoring shows no unusual threat indicators. However, we have received 17 requests for interviews from galactic news networks. Elena sipped her tea thoughtfully. I suppose word was bound to spread eventually. The Galactic Council has also transmitted formal requests for clarification regarding unauthorized diplomatic contact, Kane continued. Zara looked up from her careful silverware arrangements. Are we causing trouble for you, Queen Elena? I never wanted our asking for help to make problems. Elena reached across the table to touch Zara's hand gently. Young one, the only trouble you've caused is forcing grown-ups to remember why kindness matters more than procedure. Ambassador Kira's expression grew serious. Your Majesty, the Council's concerns are understandable but misguided. The intelligence we've shared has already allowed your forces to redirect 3 colony defense ships to optimal positions. She paused, gathering her thoughts. The Dominion's next expansion wave will encounter prepared resistance instead of defenseless settlements. How many lives that will save cannot be calculated. Kane nodded his agreement. Early projections suggest we've gained strategic advantages worth months of traditional intelligence gathering. Elena smiled at the irony. All because a brave child reached out for help, and because a wise queen answered, Zara added shyly. The breakfast conversation was interrupted by Kane's communication device buzzing urgently. He stepped away to receive the transmission, his expression shifting to alert concern. Your Majesty, Kane said, returning to the table. Admiral Foster reports unusual sensor readings in the outer system. Multiple ships approaching, but they're not broadcasting Dominion signatures. Ambassador Kira stood immediately, her recovery forgotten in the face of potential danger. Your Majesty, may I access your sensor data? I might be able to identify the approaching vessels. Elena nodded to Kane, who activated the portable display unit. Ambassador Kira studied the readings for 30 seconds before her expression transformed completely. Those are Kethran Coalition rescue ships, she said, her voice filled with wonder. They've been searching for us for months. Zara's eyes went wide. Really? They came looking for us? Apparently, young one, we were not as forgotten as we believed. Kane's tactical mind immediately shifted to new calculations. Your Majesty, this changes our diplomatic position significantly. We're no longer hosting refugees. We're facilitating formal contact between humanity and the Coalition. Elena felt the weight of historical moments settling around the breakfast table. What had begun as a simple choice to help a frightened child had evolved into humanity's first meaningful step toward galactic alliance after years of isolation. Ambassador Kira, what protocols should we follow for formal Coalition contact? Your Majesty, traditional diplomatic procedure would require extensive preparation and ceremonial frameworks. However, given our circumstances, I believe simple honesty will serve better than elaborate protocol. Pop, she looked at Zara with obvious affection. After all, honesty was what brought us together in the first place. Elena stood, her decision made. Then let's greet our visitors with the same openness that brought their people safely to our world. Kane activated full diplomatic security protocols while Elena prepared for humanity's most significant alien contact in decades. But her focus remained on the small alien child who had changed everything by having the courage to ask for help. An hour later, the Palace Communications Center buzzed with activity as Kethran Coalition ships established formal contact with Earth's governing council. Elena stood at the primary communications console flanked by Ambassador Kira and Zara, with Kane monitoring security from his position near the entrance. The transmission came through crystal clear, carrying formal diplomatic tones mixed with obvious relief. This is Commander Voss of the Kethran Coalition vessel Starwind. We have been searching for our missing peace delegation for 7 months. Ambassador Kira stepped forward, her voice strong despite recent injuries. Commander, this is Ambassador Kira. My ward and I are safe under the protection of Queen Elena of Earth. A pause filled the transmission before Commander Voss responded, emotion evident even across species barriers. Ambassador Kira, the entire coalition has mourned your disappearance. Are you both truly unharmed? Zara moved close to the communications pickup, her young voice carrying across space to her people. Commander Voss, this is Zara. We crashed, but the humans found us and helped us. They gave us medicine and food and kindness. Young Zara. The commander's voice softened dramatically. Your family has never stopped hoping for your safe return. Zara's eyes filled with tears, but her smile was radiant. Really? They remember me? Child, an entire world has been praying for your homecoming. Elena felt her heart clench at the profound mixture of joy and loss in Zara's expression. The child had family and a people who loved her, but returning to them meant leaving behind the safety and connection she had found on Earth. Ambassador Kira placed a gentle hand on Zara's shoulder. Your Majesty, Commander Voss, we face a delicate situation. Zara and I have found sanctuary with humanity, but we also carry obligations to our own people. Commander Voss's response came carefully. Ambassador, the Coalition has no desire to disrupt beneficial relationships with Earth. We seek only to ensure your safety and continued diplomatic success. Kane stepped forward, his security training recognizing opportunity within complexity. Commander, might I suggest that diplomatic success could be enhanced through formal cultural exchange? Elena understood Kane's suggestion immediately. Commander Voss, Ambassador Kira, and Zara have become important guests of humanity. Would the Coalition consider establishing a formal embassy on Earth? The transmission carried several minutes of background discussion before Commander Voss returned. Your Majesty, such an arrangement would require formal negotiation between our governments. However, the Coalition would be honored to explore permanent diplomatic relations with humanity. Zara looked between the adults, her intelligence grasping implications beyond her years. Does this mean I could stay on Earth sometimes and visit my family too? Ambassador Kira smiled, her expression mixing professional satisfaction with personal joy. Young one, diplomacy often creates solutions that seemed impossible before wise people began talking. Elena knelt beside Zara, her royal dignity maintained even in the gentle gesture. It means that helping you brought our peoples together in ways that could benefit everyone. Kane observed the historical moment with deep satisfaction. Palace security protocols had been designed to protect humanity through isolation, but sometimes true protection came through building bridges rather than walls. Commander Voss transmitted again, this time with formal diplomatic authority. Your Majesty, the Kethran Coalition wishes to express gratitude for your care of our citizens and interest in establishing permanent diplomatic relations. Commander, humanity is honored by the Coalition's friendship. We look forward to formal negotiations. Elena paused, looking at Zara and Ambassador Kira. But today, we celebrate the safe return of a lost child to her family and the beginning of new cooperation between our peoples. Zara stepped close to Elena, her voice soft but clear. Queen Elena, when I grow up, I want to be an ambassador like Kira. I want to build bridges between people who could be friends but just haven't met yet. Elena felt tears threaten for the first time in years. Young one, I believe you already are. The transmission continued with formal arrangements for diplomatic meetings and cultural exchange protocols, but Elena's attention remained on the extraordinary child who had changed the course of galactic relations by having the courage to reach out when she needed help. Outside the palace, humanity prepared for its first formal alien embassy. Not through conquest or negotiation, but through the simple act of answering when a child called for assistance. 8 months after that first desperate transmission, Queen Elena stood in the palace garden, watching Zara chase holographic butterflies generated by Kethran technology, while human children from the nearby school joined in the game. The sight represented everything she had hoped diplomacy could achieve, different species finding joy in simple shared experiences. Ambassador Kira approached slowly, her recovery complete and her new role as Earth's first permanent alien diplomat settling into comfortable routine. Your Majesty, the quarterly cultural exchange reports show remarkable progress in interspecies understanding. Elena smiled, watching Zara demonstrate human playground games to her fascinated Kethran age-mates who had arrived with the newest diplomatic shuttle. Progress measured in laughter and friendship tends to be the most lasting kind. Kane joined them, his expression carrying the satisfaction of security protocols that had evolved from protection through isolation to protection through community building. Your Majesty, Admiral Foster reports that Coalition Fleet Coordination has successfully deterred 3 separate Dominion expansion attempts. And the Children's Education Exchange Program? Elena asked. Enrollment requests from human families have exceeded our capacity to accommodate, Kane replied. Apparently other parents see the value in what Zara has brought to our world. Zara ran toward them, her violet skin flushed with exertion and happiness, followed by a mixed group of human and Kethran children. Queen Elena, we're teaching the Kethran children how to play hide-and-seek, and they're teaching us their favorite memory-sharing games. She paused, breathing hard but grinning widely. Did you know that Kethran children can actually share happy memories through touch? Today I felt what it was like to swim in their crystal seas. Ambassador Kira's eyes softened with cultural pride. Memory sharing is considered our people's greatest gift to friendship. Elena knelt to meet Zara's excited gaze. And what's humanity's greatest gift, do you think? Zara considered seriously, her young face reflecting wisdom earned through hardship and hope. I think it's answering when someone calls for help even when you don't know if it's safe. She looked around the garden at human and alien children playing together without any awareness that they were making history. You taught me that kindness is brave. Elena felt her throat tighten with emotion and pride. You taught us that asking for help requires courage, too. Kane's communication device buzzed softly. He checked the display and smiled. Your Majesty, incoming transmission from the Galactic Council. They're requesting Earth's mediation in a refugee situation involving displaced families from the Outer Rim. Zara's eyes lit up immediately. Are there more children who need help? Elena stood, her decision already made. Captain Kane, please inform the Council that humanity accepts their request. She looked down at Zara, whose courage had unknowingly established Earth as a beacon of hope for displaced beings across the galaxy. Young Ambassador, it seems your example is inspiring others to have faith and asking for assistance. Ambassador Kira approached the group, her expression mixing professional satisfaction with personal affection. Your Majesty, Zara, the Coalition has received similar requests from refugee groups throughout the sector. Word has spread that Earth offers sanctuary to those in genuine need. Kane calculated implications with practiced efficiency. Your Majesty, we'll need to expand our diplomatic facility significantly. Then we'd better begin construction immediately, Captain. Zara tugged Elena's sleeve gently. Queen Elena, does this mean more children will find safe places to live? It means, young one, that your courage to reach out for help has taught the galaxy that no child should face danger alone. Elena looked around the garden where human and alien children played together, their laughter echoing off palace walls that had once been designed primarily for defense. Security had evolved beyond protection, from threat to protection of possibility. Zara, do you ever regret that desperate transmission you sent 8 months ago? Zara considered the question with characteristic seriousness. No, never. Because asking for help wasn't just about saving my guardian and me. It was about proving that different people can care about each other. She gestured toward the children playing in mixed groups. Look what happened because I was brave enough to believe someone would answer. Elena smiled, her heart full of pride for the extraordinary child who had changed everything. Indeed, young Ambassador. Look what happened because compassion proved stronger than fear. Kane activated the palace communications array to respond to the Galactic Council's request, while Elena watched Zara return to her friends, ready to teach more children that reaching out for help could transform the universe. The afternoon sun cast long shadows across the garden where the future of galactic diplomacy played hide-and-seek, learned memory sharing, and discovered that friendship was the most powerful force in any civilized society. Elena had answered one child's call for help and accidentally created a revolution based on kindness. The universe felt smaller, safer, and infinitely more hopeful.